Hello there and welcome to another tutorial from AKCP. Today we're going to be looking at AKCCess Pro, and in particular we're going to be looking at the Server Explorer window and some of the options that are available in here for both base units and sensors. So let's jump in and get started. So as you can see, I've already gone ahead and I've opened AKCCess Pro Server, and this is essentially what you'll see when you install the program. Now, focusing on the Server Explorer, which is this middle window right here, wedged right in between the Help and the Workspace window, essentially the Server Explorer is the window which displays all your added devices on AKCCess Pro. So we have one device which is added here, and you can see that it shows in the Sensors tab, it shows in the Cameras tab, and it also shows in the Doors tab, which is where we find out access control details. Now let's just go back to the Sensors tab, and I'm going to twirl down this little plus arrow here to give us a bigger list. There we go. So you can see that I've added the security probe, and in this case I've changed the name from security probe to testing sec, and it also displays the IP address of that particular unit. Now below that we also have host status, and I want to take a moment just to talk about the host status and exactly what this is. It's not a physical sensor, so what I mean by that is it's not something that you actually plug into the back of the security probe. This is a virtual sensor, and what you can do with the virtual sensor is ping the security probe to make sure that it's maintaining a proper network connectivity. So let's have a look at how we go ahead and actually set that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to click configure. And this opens up a new dialog window, and in here we can do multiple things like change the sensor name, and we can also change the description of the status when it becomes reachable or unreachable. So for the purposes of this tutorial, let's change this from host status to ping security probe. And then I'm going to leave the description of the statuses as reachable and unreachable because I think that's a fairly good description, and for the purposes of this tutorial we're also going to leave it as ping rather than HTTP. So let's go ahead and click next. Now we come to the ping virtual sensor configuration window, where we can set the intervals of our ping and also the timeouts and how often we want it to retry the ping. So first of all, the ping interval. This is the time in seconds between each ping of the security probe. So at the moment it's going to be pinging the security probe every 15 seconds. Let's actually change that and just change this down to every 10 seconds. Now the ping timeout, I think that's reasonable at 10 seconds. And we also have the amount of times that we want it to retry pinging the security probe. So we're going to say 2 times, and we're going to click finish. And the moment that I click finish, you'll see that that host status has now changed to ping security probe. And if we drag and drop this over here on the window, you can see that it gives us our same information, much the same as it would when we drag our temperature or any other sensor information into the desktop window. So let's just cancel those off for a moment. Now let's have a look at what we have below the now newly titled ping security probe. We have the main module. Now what is the main module? Well, the main module is the base unit at the top of the chain, and essentially what I mean by that is if you have a security probe with a bunch of sensors connected to the rear of the unit, and you also maybe have 5 or 6 expansion modules and perhaps even a door control unit, well, all of that information and all of those extra base units are still going to be fed back through the initial security probe, which has the IP address of 10.1.5.254. So if you do have all those extra units and devices attached, they're going to appear in this list below the main module. And again, if we right click the main module, what this is actually going to do is it's going to take us actually all the way back to the web interface of the security probe 5e. And here we can configure the sensors and essentially do anything that we want to. For more information on configuring sensors on the security probes, please check our other tutorials. I think you'll find them very, very useful for this particular portion. So let's just click that off a moment and go back to AKCCess Pro. So now we've looked at the main module. We also have our airflow and we also have our temperature. So what happens if we want to configure our airflow sensor? Well, the good thing about this is if we right click and click configure again, it's going to take us straight back to the security probe, but it's actually going to take us back to the particular sensor tab within the security probe 5e. So we can go right ahead, we can make any changes that we want to within this window, we can click save, and then when we go back to AKCCess Pro, all those changes will have actually been saved. Now that's that's pretty much it for the Server Explorer window in this tutorial. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.